Scott, pretty nice to rock up on a Monday morning after that performance.
Yeah, it was pleasing. You know, the boys deserved it. We've been in the games in the first 2 rounds, but haven't been quite able to finish it off. So to get the result, obviously in a showdown as well, not only the players are pretty happy, but our supporters were as well.
What did you learn about the group in that last quarter?
I didn't learn any more. That's always been there with us. We know that the boys have got plenty of ticker, and we've certainly got some talented youngsters, but you still get the old stagers like a Sloaney who goes in there in the last quarter and was really instrumental with us winning contests and getting that ball forward. And it was just really pleasing that when you review the game and you go back and have a look at it, there was just contributions from all 22, and then you get Chase Jones coming in as a sub that gets 9 touches and kicks a pretty important goal at the end as well.
When you look at the first couple of rounds, you got yourself in winning positions, you didn't capitalise. What changed on Saturday night to make sure you were able to stay in the game and then kick away?
Probably a little bit more accurate on goal, which helped. Look, there's still plenty of things that we need to work on though and get right. We had quite a few points kicked against early in the game, so it was pleasing from a defensive viewpoint that we could slow Port scoring down in the second half of the last 2.5 quarters. And what we've said here in the past is that at the moment around the contest and when we get the ball in our hands, we can be quite damaging, but there's still a few little things to tidy up.
What does a win like that do for, I guess, the young group that you have?
Oh, look, it's just a solid win. It's more the fact that it was two rounds in and no wins. It's just a little bit of self-belief and confidence. Maybe that's what it brings, but the other games that we've played have been hard games. That Giants one with that heat and humidity, that was a hard game, but we couldn't quite get it done. Richmond, like we've said before, they're going to be at the pointy end of the season, so we played a top team here and gave them a head start and got back into it, but they were a little bit too good at the end last week.
Sitting you, I guess you have got some tough players. Did you learn a bit more about Max Michaelani, or the way he, I guess, came back onto the field after dropping that brutal tackle?
No, didn't learn anything new from Maxie. It's funny when you got a player that's come in and played 3 games first year. It's nearly what we expect from Maxie. First day he came into training, he's been terrific for us. I reckon it was probably 3 weeks in, he was on Isaac Rankin in some match sim type training drills and kept with him then. So he's shown signs straight away. We've seen him defend over the last 2 years at junior level and at Nord in the SNFL, and we were rapt to absolutely get him, but it shows a fair bit of ticker, doesn't it? Because that was a reasonable hit to the ribs, and to get that, and then I think the second half he's probably the 5th or 6th highest ranked player on the ground as well. So it shows a fair bit of character the young fella's got.
Did I guess Nixie, or do you kind of you bring that up to the players and say, this is what we kind of want, this is an effort that we laud, kind of thing?
Oh, it's what we expect, not just Maxie. That's just an effort that we expect.
Against Richmond GWS, I guess you're getting hurt on transition a lot and around the midfield. How are we able to, address that against Port?
Yeah, there's a little bit of everything. It's not just transition. We simply look at transition. Sometimes ball use hasn't been as good, and we've let the opposition score. We've been scored a little bit too much from stoppages at times as well. So free kicks against. There's little bits and pieces that we just need to tidy up, and we did do that to an extent against Port Adelaide, but we're certainly not a finished product. We've got a lot of work to do to get things right, and I think we've got high achievers at this football club. We're not happy where we're at. We're pleased we got the result on the weekend, but we want to be better than what we are, and we're on that journey at the moment, and things are just starting to tick over and take shape a little bit.
Some players had beaten Port. Riley Philthorpe said after the game, among his beaming smile, that he'd never had a win over Port Adelaide. What does it mean to players, Isaac, Riley, even Josh to a degree, early in his career, to have a win like that against Port Adelaide?
Not really too fussed that it's against Port Adelaide, but just a strong team, big team, that you're in front of 50,000, and they're the games that if we want to get to where we want to get to, and that is playing finals football, fair chance you're going to have to play finals football at opposition venues, whether it's Perth or Sydney or the MCG. So you're going to have crowds that are against you. So to be able to stand up in a big game like that is really pleasing for the younger fellas. But like I said, I spoke about Sloaney, but Riley O'Brien was terrific in the ruck as well. They got some really good support, Laddie, from senior players.
Is that the bigger picture for you then, Scott? Nixie said earlier before the game that this is as close to a finals game you can get in season. So to face that heat, to stand up under it, does that give you added belief?
We've always had that we can stand up in big games. We've done that in the past, whether it's Geelong, Melbourne, those sorts of games. Like to beat the Doggies in Ballarat last year, we beat Richmond here as well. We know that when we've played against some quality opposition that we can match them, but what we haven't been is consistent for the 22 rounds or over 4 quarters at times. And like I said, that is a work in progress, but it's we're slowly getting there, and it is, once again, I'll use the word again, it is taking shape.
Surely Riley Philthorpe never plays a sample game again, given how good he was on Saturday.
Yeah, that's been used a bit. It's sort of just a throwaway line though, really, isn't it? He wouldn't have done that on the weekend if he hadn't gone back and developed his game. Everyone gets caught up that people just have to play at AFL football when they're young, which isn't the case. But he kicks 5 goals and he looks pretty special. He's come a long way probably in 6 months. From that draft, you've got Jamara, you've got Logan McDonald, and you've got Riley, which were the 3 key tools. They've all played the same amount of games. There's about 27, 28 games. They've all kicked nearly the same amount of goals. So they all take time to develop, and I think those 3 boys are probably ahead of Joshy Kennedy from West Coast and probably McKay from Carlton at the same stage. So they just take time. So, yeah, when you see a young fellow like that come in, a young key position, they kick 5 or 6, you think, yeah, he shouldn't play SANFL ever again. But they're still on a journey, and there'll be ups and downs as we go along.
What are the areas that he had to work on? I know we kind of go over there, we kind of ask, and it seems everyone. The answer is he's got some areas. Can you actually speak about the specific areas that he's worked on to get him to that 5-goal showdown performance?
No, I won't go into the specific areas, but like it's like every young fellow who comes in, they're learning the games. This is what people have to understand. It's you finish uni, you go into your workplace, your first job, you're a lot better 3rd and 4th year in. As a journalist, as a young cadet, you're probably trying to find your way. Where you are now is a lot different to where you were when you first come out. So it's just experience and understanding what's required to be the best in your own profession, and they're discovering that.
How's Sam Berry? Is he in any danger of missing this week?
I'm not sure yet. We'll go through that today. I think he should be okay. But yeah, we missed Sammy a little bit. He wasn't getting a lot of the ball, but certainly was supplying a lot of pressure around the contest. But it was really pleasing that Chase Jones that could come in and do what he did, and he had some terrific 1v1 efforts and contests that he had to win, and he got that done. And to finish that goal from 50 out wide too was really pleasing for him. So it was wrapped that even though Sammy went off, that Chase got the opportunity and grasped it with both hands.
When you look at Chase, so he kicks a goal, Rochelle kicks a goal, his midfield time looks like it's the next evolution step for him, Isaac, all the highlights. On the other side, what does Mitch Hinge's run-down tackle mean?
Yeah, they're always important, aren't they? They certainly lift the team when you look like you're down and out. The opposition are going to score, whether it's a massive smother. So once I'm going to go back to Chase Jones, he got outmarked, but he didn't give up. He got that smother in. Ball comes back, he takes that mark. Mitch Hinge looks like we're absolutely gone here. Porter going to kick the goal, but he finds a way, just desperation, just to get his hand on the jumper and force an error or force a hack kick that we can resurrect it. So it's one of those ones where, as a team, if you can go back the other way and score and capitalise, it can really deflate Oppo, but certainly lift yourself.
I know it probably doesn't matter to you, and don't take this personally whatsoever, please. What did you think when Jordan Dawson won the showdown medal?
Jordan Dawson? I thought Jordan played quite well, but no, I think anyone there who was probably watching it and they're live, I mean, like I said, Riley O'Brien was terrific. You had Mitch Hinge playing really good footy. You got Riley and Isaac doing what they did up forward. Sometimes umpires don't get the Brownlow votes right, and maybe the blokes picking the best players don't get it right either.
His first half was, if the game ended at half time, he was the best player on the ground by a street. Is that something that's going to be consistent with Jordan to go?
Yeah, what Dawes did do extremely well though was some of his wins and physicality around the stoppage was fantastic. But we can use him we know he's versatile. We can use him in both roles. It was really pleasing what he gave us there on the weekend, because he's not only very strong over the ball, but he's very good aerially, and you don't want to give him too much time and space because he can set us up with ball in hand. But yeah, it was pleasing because basically Hingy went back and Dawes came on ball, so both of those players played very well in their respective roles.
What did you make of Luke Pedlar's tackle on Dan Houston?
Yeah, holding the ball. That's initially what I thought.
And is that something the club's going to just accept, knowing that the AFL is coming down hard on that kind of thing, or do you think
Yeah, we've accepted it. We don't. I think our hands are tied a little bit. We're not sure once it comes in. It's pretty hard to argue. I guess you could probably throw about 20 similar tackles up, and they look all pretty similar. But this one's been charged, so we'll just cop it and move on.
So that's it. So Pedler's not going to fight.
No.
Okay.
Just how much of a blow is that for him, given he's looked so exciting? You know, the first 3 games.
Yes, he's been terrific, Peds, and like this is 3rd year in, and for 2 years he's had niggles and injuries, so he hasn't been able to get a clean run at it, and we're just starting to see now what he can offer. You know, he's powerful, he's exciting, he's quick, starting to finish off his work as well. But there's another opportunity for someone else to come in, and the SNFL were terrific on the weekend. They had a really strong win, and we've got some good players underneath playing some pretty solid football.
Great, thanks guys.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
Scott.